So what you're saying too is that one of the ways that we get manipulated and disempowered is because people leverage our own fears. And one of these fears is the materialist, reductionist belief about death. You die and then you're dead. There's no continuity of consciousness, right? This is what universally scientific materialism is telling us in our cultural story. Well, we just know this is not true. The work done at a University of Virginia on people remembering their past lives has absolutely, in my opinion, conclusively shown that reincarnation is a reality. And so one of these primary fears is the fear of death, because we believe that we're actually not going anywhere. Or some of us believe that we're going to some lofty heaven with harps and swans and whatever if we're a good person. There's a variety of different beliefs, but it seems like this primary fear, the fear of death, is one of the fears that has to be addressed first. And then, of course, the other one would be the fear of pain, which this is where this big energy into like initiatic practices, like I'm going to be in a sweat lodge tonight, where I'll be in the Inipi and it'll be 3.5 hours in the dark in the sweat. So you get beyond this fear of pain, whether it's through the cold or through the heat, these intentional hormetic stressors or a hard workout or an ultra marathon or whatever. So you transcend your fear of pain and then you transcend your fear of death, and all of a sudden you're radically empowered and far less susceptible to be manipulated because of the fears that you hold within your own body, mind, heart, psyche.
Well, I'm glad you're doing that sweat. For the last number of years, I'm involved with a Cree tribe in Alberta, and we do. I go to the Sundance, okay, and I bring people from outside so they can connect with the indigenous people and work with them and put a Sundance on. They're not observers of a Sundance, they're participants, including the sweat lodges and all that, and how radically it changes these people's lives. How they come in with whatever life problems they had, and after spending almost a week with a native tribe in the wilderness, they go home completely different, healed. Many of them come with some illness and then go home completely healed because, as I said, 90% of the illness has nothing to do with the physical body anyway. It has to do with all this. And working with native indigenous people, they were the ones that we need to emulate, because they're the first and only ones that recognize spirit and matter are one and the same thing. So when you cut a tree down, you don't just cut a tree down, you pray to the spirit of the tree. Or you kill a deer, or you pray to the spirit before you get into dealing with them. They were the first, and they were the ones that also recognized we lived in a garden and we have to take care of it. And all of a sudden he said, well, you want this world to come back into order? Well, then pretty damn much go back to the indigenous mindset and start to live, because they lived in community and they lived in harmony. And this is absolutely missing in today's world.
Yeah, I mean, and another one of the tragedies is the people who held these belief systems when empire came in with their superior technology and their weapons of war, and they seemingly intentionally looked to wipe out these populations, cultures, heretical lines, whether it was the First Nations people where the conquistadors came in or empire came in whatever forces. Our own nation participated in such atrocities. But then there was also, the witch hunts. What were the witch hunts? Well, these were, druidic people, or people who remembered the lineage and the heritage lines of working with energy and magic and medicine, in plant medicine in that form, in unique ways. And they were, strung up from trees and burnt on stakes and thrown in water, and, they were destroyed, by the millions across the whole world.
Because they were the ones that preceded religion, especially like in Greece, where it was a place where you took this psychedelic kikula, I think was the name. Kikion, and then you get to experience your real spirituality. And then when the church came in, they said, no, you can't do that anymore, because if you do that, then you're not a customer. So they took away the kikian, and then all of a sudden they gave you this, okay, here's your wine, here's your wafer. And I said, that's not the same, as it was. And that's when happened where the crap fell down on women, because they were the keepers of the secrets of making the plant medicine and helping people go through the plant medicine. And the idea was, if you go through the plant medicine, why would you join the church? And the answer is you wouldn't. So how do you get rid of them? Well, all of a sudden, women are evil. They were the ones that bit the damn apple. And they're the ones ever since are the witches, as you just brought up. Ever since that time, women have been put into a second-class position because they were pretty damn powerful before the church took over. And then we lost it, and now it's not the same, process of eating a wafer or drinking a bit of wine. It's not the same as becoming aware and conscious.
And fortunately, we're seemingly remembering these old lineages and traditions. And this is the beautiful thing about the field and about the collective consciousness, or the morphic resonance field, as Rupert Sheldrake calls it, or the Akash, however you want to say it. In some ways, even though some specific information has been lost, it's really remarkable to me to see people literally downloading from the field. Their own unique receptors are downloading programs from the field that have been learned and uploaded and also previously downloaded from the field, and resurrecting old lineage traditions that were lost. One of my teachers, Don Howard, did that with the Chervin culture and the way that they served two different medicines, Wachuma and Vilca, in different ways. And that lineage was lost and broken, from Peru. There was no traces of that being practiced, but he listened to the plants, went to the old ruins of Chervin, really understood what the signs were and the clues were in the archaeology and the sculptures and the carvings and the art that existed, and downloaded that whole tradition and resurrected it. And I'm seeing this more and more, where even the things that were lost are now being remembered, and hopefully they're being remembered just in the nick of time. So at the 11th hour in the 59th minute, we're going to have enough consciousness to make it through this, next upheaval and existential threat.
Yeah, and the fact that several states have now legalized the psychedelic drugs as a way of, promoting mental health and consciousness is a very positive sign.
A very positive sign.
Because they've taken it away from us. That was when the church came in and said, no, you're not allowed to have that information. Only we have that. You can't have it. Right. But you can pay us and we'll give you some version of it. And it's like, you're right, this is the time. This is coming to the point. That's why I said 20 years is not a long time from now. And the reality is, well, what are you going to do? And I say, well, a lot of people want to go in and fight the system. I go, no. Fighting the system, they're bigger than you are. And if you take your energy and put it against their energy, that creates sparks and fires, and the energy is wasted. And it's Buckminster Fuller, I think, is the one that said, go out and build a better damn system, and the people will come out there. And that's why I'm so honored to be on your show, because what you're doing, you're helping seed this new system, because it's more effective than attacking and breaking the other one, because that just cancels your energy. Energy is life, man. And we put it into stuff that doesn't give us anything back, then you're just throwing away your life. It's a real important part. It's interesting.